No one expected that a small moment behind the scenes would change the entire atmosphere of the day's shoot. Everything was proceeding normally, with the crew busy setting up the set, the actors preparing for their respective roles, and the atmosphere still feeling warm as usual. However, Ziyu's presence, with her characteristic cheerful energy, always managed to make the room glow differently. Her every move seemed to draw attention, and anyone around her was naturally drawn to see what she was doing, including someone who was secretly always watching her, Tion Xuning. At first, there was nothing unusual. The two of them had often been seen together in various projects, and every time they appeared, they managed to captivate the public with their natural chemistry. But that day was different. There was something unexpected, something that sparked an uncontrollable emotional spark, and something that even made the crew hold their breath as they watched. It all started with a light interaction that should have meant nothing, a small laugh, a brief joke, and a familiarity that flowed so naturally between Ziyu and one of the other actors on the set. The laughter was not excessive. There was no obvious physical contact or flirtatious romantic gestures. However, precisely because of its simplicity, the interaction felt so honest and light that it blended perfectly with the atmosphere. Ziyu laughed as he bowed his head slightly, his eyes squinting playfully, and his shoulders shaking softly. And it was at that moment that the camera, which happened to be rolling to capture the atmosphere on set, swept towards Tion Xuning. Tion's expression changed in a matter of seconds. His previously neutral face suddenly tensed up. His gaze was focused, as if he couldn't ignore what was happening in front of him. There was a slight flash in his eyes, something that was almost imperceptible if you didn't pay close attention, but to those who had been following the dynamics between the two for a long time, that flash was very clear, an emotional flash that people call jealousy. The crew members who happened to be near him glanced at each other. No one dared to comment, but they could feel a slight change in the atmosphere around Tion. He stood a little stiffer than usual, his eyes following Ziyu's movements without blinking, and his usually relaxed lips looked slightly tense. He didn't say anything, but his body language spoke much louder than words. That small interaction seemed to be the starting point of an inevitable chain reaction. After that small laugh, Ziyu, who was aware of Tion's presence from the corner of her eye, turned slowly. Then, with a very subtle but meaningful smile, she cast a brief glance in Tion's direction. It was a glance that seemed like a secret signal, like someone deliberately testing another person's reaction. That small smile seemed to say, "I see you, and I know how you feel." The moment was brief, only a few seconds, but for fans who paid close attention to every detail of their interaction, those few seconds were enough to set the internet ablaze. A short video capturing the moment was uploaded by one of the crew, whether intentionally or not, and it didn't take long for fans to cut, enlarge, and analyze it in depth. Within hours, the video had been spread across various platforms, creating a wave of discussion that led to one conclusion: Tion Xuning was jealous, and Ziyu was aware of it. Analysis after analysis emerged from Tion's gaze, which was said to be too intense for a mere glance between co-workers, to the expression on his mouth, which seemed to be holding back a comment. Many speculated that such a reaction would not have been possible if there had not been any special feelings between them beforehand. Netizens even compared the moment with various past interactions between the two, creating a series of visual evidence that seemed to build an increasingly strong romantic narrative. However, the most interesting reaction came from Tion himself. After that interaction, he tried to regain his composure, but the aura emanating from him remained different. He walked toward the area where Ziyu was, but cautiously, as if to ensure that he wasn't too obvious. When he arrived near Ziyu, he pretended to check something on the property table, when in fact his goal was clearly to be within the same radius as the girl who had unconsciously, or perhaps consciously, disturbed him. As they stood close together, the atmosphere between them became more intense, more silent, and more meaningful. Ziyu noticed Tion's presence, but she did not immediately turn her head. She played with her hair for a moment, pretending to be busy with her phone, but her cheeks were slightly red. After a few seconds that felt like long minutes, she finally turned her head and smiled. The smile was much more sincere than before, and Tion, who saw it, could only respond with a small nod, a nod that looked like someone who was trying hard to hide his own emotions. The crew nearby could only pretend not to see anything. But even from a distance, they could sense that there was an unusual dynamic. It was as if the two were trying to hide something that was already too obvious. And of course, their silence after the video went viral did nothing to quell the speculation. In fact, it made everything explode even more. Fans became even more convinced that there was something they wanted to hide, something they didn't want to admit openly. Comments popped up, ranging from funny, dramatic, to those full of complicated theories about the development of their relationship. Many were convinced that this interaction was not the first time Tion had shown discomfort when seeing Ziyu close to other people. In various other recordings, it can be seen how Tion often steals glances at Ziyu when they're filming together, how he always makes sure that Ziyu is okay, and how he seems more relaxed when he is around her compared to other people. All these signs, when put together, are like a big puzzle that leads to one conclusion: there are deeper feelings behind their relationship. Fans who have been following their journey for a long time even say that the development of their relationship feels like a romantic drama unfolding in the real world. There is subtle tension, there are hidden emotions, there are small moments full of meaning, and there are glances that are too intense to ignore. The longer it goes on, the harder it is for anyone to deny that the two have a much more personal relationship than they show in public. And now, after that moment of jealousy was caught on camera, many believe that their relationship has entered a new phase. A phase where feelings can no longer be completely hidden. A phase where every glance, every smile, and every reaction becomes a clearer clue about what is really going on between them. No one knows what will happen next. But one thing is certain: fans won't stop paying attention to every little moment between them. Because if a single laugh can already spark such a reaction, who can predict what surprises Yu and Tian Xuning will bring in the future?